Number 1 says use a common denominator to divide. So we have 1/3 divided by 5. Since we have thirds, we can change 5 over 1 into something over 3. 1 times 3 is 3. 5 times 3 is 15. So now we have 1/3 divided by 15 thirds. And then we ignore the denominators and just divide the numerators. 1 divided by 15 is 1/15. The next one, we have 1/7 divided by 2. Again, 2 is equal to 2 over 1, and we can change that into sevens. 1 times 7 is 7, 2 times 7 is 14, so now we have 1/7 divided by 14 sevenths. Again, now we ignore the denominators and just divide the numerators. 1 divided by 14 is 1/14. Number 2 says solve and show your work. So since both are mixed numbers, I'm going to change them both into improper fractions. 4 times 6 is 24, plus 1 is 25/6, times 1 times 8 is 8, plus 7 is 15 over 8. So now I multiply my numerators and multiply my denominators. 6 times 8 is 48, 25 times 15, 5 times 5 is 25, carry the 2, 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 is 12. Now, if I'm moving on to the 1, I have to add my 0. 1 times 5 is 5, 1 times 2 is 2. 5 plus 0 is 5, 5 plus 2 is 7, 1 plus 2 is 3. So my answer is 375 over 48. If you want to change that into a mixed number, 48 goes into 375 7 times. With 39 left over, my denominator stays the same. So either answer would be fine. Number 3 says write an equivalent problem with a whole number divisor and then solve. So if I want to get rid of my decimals, I'm going to multiply each of them by 10. When I multiply by 10, my decimal point moves one place to the right. So my equivalent problem is 1,945 divided by 5. Now to actually solve that, 5 goes into 19 3 times. 3 times 5 is 15. Subtract 4, bring down the 4. 5 goes into 44 8 times. 8 times 5 is 40. Subtract. Bring down the 5. 5 goes into 45 9 times. And since it goes in perfectly, we don't have a remainder, so our answer is 389. Number 4 says a marathon is approximately 26 1/5 miles. If Mario has already run 17 1/3 miles, how much farther does she have to go? So again, we start with 26 1/5 mile. Since she's already run 17 1/3 and we want to know how much she has left, we know we're subtracting. And we'll say equals m for miles. So 1/5 minus 1/3 we can't do, so we have to find a common denominator. If I count by 5s, 5, 10, 15, 20. Count by 3s, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. I know I can change them both into 15ths. 5 times 3 is 15. 1 times 3 is 3. 3 times 5 is 15. 1 times 5 is 5. So now I have 26 and 3/15 minus 17 and 5/15. If I look here, I can't do 3/15 minus 5/15, so I have to borrow from my whole number. So my 26 becomes a 25, and I add 15/15 to my answer. So now I have 25 and 18/15 minus 17 and 5/15. 25 minus 17 is 8. 18/15 minus 5/15 is 13/15. So she has 8 miles and 13/15 of a mile left to go. The last one says complete the area model and show that your answer to problem 2 is correct. So when we solve problem 2, we use improper fractions. This time it wants us to use the area model. So in this first box, we do 4 times 1, which is 4. In the next box, we do 1 times 1/6, which is 1/6. In this bottom box, we do 4 times 7/8. 4 times 7 is 28. 8 times 1 is 8. And in this last box, we do 1/6 times 7/8. 1 times 7 is 7. 6 times 8 is 48. So now we have to add them all together. We have 4 times plus 1/6 plus 28/8 plus 7/48. So before I do that, I'm going to change 28/8 into a mixed number. 8 goes into 28 3 times with 4 left over, so 3 4/8. So we have 4 plus 3 4/8 plus 1/6 plus 7/48. So I'm going to change them all into 48s. So 8 times 6 is 48. 4 times 6 is 24. 6 times 8 is 48. 8 times 1 is 8. So now 4 plus 3 is 7. 24 plus 8 is 32. Plus 7 is 39/48. So our answer is 7 and 39/48, which is the same answer we got in problem 2.